For all the latest from the world of motoring, hit that subscribe button and stay connected. The Apache RTR 160 has been with us for more than a decade now and for the most part remained the same. One reason for it getting only minor updates is simply because it was pretty good off the shelf. But the world has moved on since, and especially in the last few years, the demand for sporty motorcycles, especially in the entry-level segment, has really spiked. TVS's answer to this demand is the all-new TVS Apache RTR 160 4V, and here is our first ride review of the same. From the moment you thumb the starter on the 160 4V, you immediately notice the difference from its previous version. The engine feels rather smooth at idle and the exhaust note is more refined and muted. Get going and now you notice how the revs build up easier thanks to the 4-valve setup. The difference between the FI and carb version in terms of real-world performance is pretty small. The FI version, as expected, has a smoother roll-on and is easy off the line, but it is the carb version that is actually a tad bit faster. The 0 to 100 timings for both lie around the 16-second mark, with the carb version just a bit faster. Like we said earlier, this engine loves to rev and it will rev hard and fast till it hits the limiter at 11,500 RPM. The first 3 gears are short and you will hit the limiter quickly if you are in a hurry. But 4th gear onwards things space out and the 5th gear is rather tall. There are no vibes as such in the normal riding RPM range, but like most motorcycles in this segment, you do have some creeping in post 9,000 RPM. The Apache RTR 160 4V will easily cruise in top gear around the 90 to 100 km/h mark, and it accelerates to this number easily too. Post 100, understandably, it takes a bit of patience to build up the pace, but on a long enough straight, 120 should be easily achievable. The gearbox too is slick with precise shifts up and down, and during our entire stint at the TVS facility, it threw no surprises. Now, all through its life, the Apaches were known for its handling, and the new 160 4V quite remarkably takes this game forward. Credit for this goes to the new chassis inspired from TVS's successful racing machines that have won multiple championships, and it shows. The bike is now even more nimble on its feet and much more planted length over. It feels super light and now turn-ins can be super late and fast. Due to this overall comfortable riding stance which feels very natural even for track riding, it's very easy to move the bike beneath you. This means direction changes and anything associated with the 160 4V's handling is very easy and without drama. The new monoshock suspension is 7-step adjustable, and all through a ride it was at position 3 on both the carb and FI versions we rode. This meant it was more soft than stiff and surprisingly held well for our track outing. At a stiffer setting, it would probably handle much better, especially mid-corner. The front though is reasonably soft and should be good for street use. The brakes on the 160 4V probably are the only thing that is not race inspired. It is however good for street use. So as expected, what you get is a sharp initial bite with a good progressive brake actuation but lacks the feedback that gives you confidence to brake late. ABS is not yet available even as an option, but we expect it to arrive later this year for sure. The stock TVS Remora tires also made its presence felt, and in a good way. They grip pretty well and are a good trade-off between grip and longevity. Only on really hard braking did we have the rear locking up in a few instances, but the front held solid all through our ride. The design language of the new RTR 160 4V is unmistakably from its 200cc sibling. It looks sharp from any angle and you could easily mistake it for the bigger Apache. The biggest and the obvious visual changes on the 160 4V are that it now has a single seat and different rear panels to go with it, a regular handlebar, thinner front forks and different alloys. But if you look closer, the changes between the two are many. After having ridden the TVS Apache RTR 160 4V, one thing is definitely clear. It is a proper evolution of the original 160 and it's a sporty motorcycle that is quick and behaves extremely well. Build quality also is very good and is something that is becoming a typical TVS trait. Of course, as of now, we cannot comment on things like mileage and real-world riding feel, but from the preview that we had, it sure looks like it is one of the best in its segment. We will of course bring you a real-world review of the Apache RTR 160 4V soon, so stay tuned and stay subscribed.